Hi everyone, it's Dr. Karen Can. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest, and it's the week of July 11th, 2016. If you have not watched last week's video on my Facebook page, the Dr. Karen Can Facebook page, you might want to check it out. It's called Bernie Sanders is Wrong. Now, for those of you that have been watching this, you know that I am a fan of Bernie Sanders. He is a politician in the U.S. whose heart is in the right place. Basically, he is for fairness and education, healthcare for all. He believes that people should know about what's in their food. A lot of things I believe in. Not everything that he believes in is exactly in resonance with me, but he's the closest one as far as the top politicians in the U.S. Now, the reason I did the video is because a lot of people are choosing the next president of the United States based on fear rather than on love. So if you want to check out the controversy of that video, go ahead and check out my Facebook page. It's called Bernie Sanders is Wrong. And so I've targeted Bernie Sanders supporters to watch that. So I'm hoping to get some positive results there, but we'll see. So anyway, check it out. So the one thing I did want to mention first is about all the stuff that's on the news about shooting, Alton Sterling, and all all these cameras and showing the violence between blacks and whites and so on and so forth. And think about what happens emotionally to you. What happens emotionally to you and to other people when you hear about these things, when you see them on TV, when you watch it on Facebook, whatever it is? What is going on in your body at that time? Now, for most people, it's going to be fear, anger, sadness. Those are all totally understandable human emotions. And you'd be kind of like a robot if you didn't have any emotions, right? And I want you to also feel beyond the immediacy of, or the immediate reaction of this. And so every time there's something like this in the news, I want you to see a bigger picture. So not just in the microcosm of what that thing happened and judging this is wrong, this needs to be fixed, that needs to be fixed. Yeah, sure. There's a lot of that going on, and it is completely okay to have the gamut of emotions that comes through. But it's always a great time to be reflective. And the reason these things happen on a human scale, on a big scale, is for two things. One is that there are concerted efforts on the parts of entities and hidden entities to distract us from what's really going on, from things that we could actually change now, or that things that are coming about that are secretly put in place. Secretly meaning, I shouldn't say they're secret, but they're put in place so quietly you don't even know about. So the media, remember, is paid for by, the big, huge corporations that have a vested interest in reaching the masses. And in order for them to, and we're not talking the organizations in the light, but we're talking about the ones that work out of the darkness, is that they notice, and they've done marketing for many, many years, spend millions and millions of dollars, more than on anything else on marketing, is that people buy stuff when they're afraid. And people are easy to control. They're like sheep when they're afraid. So there's a really great effort out there to keep people afraid. And when people get too secure, too happy, too at peace, they have to create or promote something that gets the fear up again. And this occurs in cycles. So you will notice the cycles over time. Like, for example, when President Obama was doing a address of the whole country about the Ebola, the whole scare, if you remember that. On the same day of that address, we had a derivative of Agent Orange, which is a toxin, completely shunted through and passed through an environmental agency to be used on our food. So all of a sudden, this known, derivative of a toxic agent, which we have banned, Agent Orange, from the war days, is now, being used on our food. And Do you think that the average person knew that? No, not unless you were on some of these newsletters that I'm on. And I mean, I remember that day I cried, but the Ebola thing happened to be, in the news, and it was big, and everyone was so worried about it. It got them all up and scared, and it's so easy to get wrapped up in that. There are other things that occur underneath the radar that if people are scared, they don't really notice, and then those things can change your life in a big way. And you don't even know. So I want you to be aware of those things. So number one, sometimes, not to say that any of this particular news is not true. Sometimes they're not true. But that it's a wonderful way of getting the population scared. And so that is one thing. So they really like that. Now, the other thing, of course, is the opportunity that it presents. It's a wonderful opportunity for us to reevaluate ourselves. What do we go into? Do we go into fear mode, and do we go into mass consciousness and start judging each other, or do we use this opportunity to say, wow, okay, that's a level of consciousness about yay high, and I want to be here, and I don't want to live in that fear and hate anymore. So I'm going to take this opportunity to take steps and action steps to actually come up here and come from a place of love. And so does that mean we don't change the system? No, not at all. This is an opportunity for all of us to grow. So it is an opportunity for us to change the system. Or for some people, especially those with entities, it's going to be an opportunity for them to go, oh, great, I can fight back and I can retaliate. How many movies do you see? How many TV shows do you see that is, revenge and retaliation? That's old school. That's old vibration. That's lower vibration. And our world is rising to a much, much higher vibration. And those things are not going to survive much longer. And it's going to be extremely painful for us to hang on to those old things. So for those of you that are watching this, more than likely you're not wanting to hold on to those things. So what can you do right away when you hear news, or when you're forced to hear the news from somebody else? I don't recommend necessarily hearing the news or watching the news. And if you can watch the news, if you can hold your own vibration. And you can muscle test this before and after you watch something. Did you experience a conflict shock? Did you trap emotion? I have done that. I've watched something and immediately started creating a heart wall. And so then I have to release it, but I'm, at least aware that that's happening. So when it doesn't mean that you don't feel the emotions, it's better to actually feel the emotion and fully feel it through, rather than go, oh my God, I don't want to feel that, and then trap it in there. So like I said, I don't recommend you watching the news because it is going to try to create fear and that kind of thing, and it can be very addictive. I know some family members that are really addicted to negative news, and it gives them a little bit of a high, but it's a low vibrational high, right? So what you want to do is be able to tap in, do a healing and come back out. So what do I mean by that is, if you do decide to be involved in listening to the news and seeing the problem, you can go ahead and feel that. If you're an empath, it's hard for you, but it's okay. You can go ahead and feel that pain, feel that sadness, and then you can process it. And you can help others process it by processing your own. You can create a morphic field around the ability to process this loss, so that other people can tap into that wonderful morphic field to do it much more easily, because you've done the hard work. So even if you're not an energy healer, the number one thing you do when you hear this kind of violence and people dying is, ask your archangels for help. So Archangel Azrael is very important for helping people cross over and helping to soothe and comfort those that are left from the tragedy or from the death. So go ahead and command and give thanks and say, Archangel Azrael, please, go to so-and-so and their family, and please comfort this city, comfort this, that kind of thing. You can also ask Archangel Michael, please look out for, now I didn't think of this till later, but please look out for anyone who's being negatively affected by this news and has a propensity for violence and retaliation. Please guard against that, and release all the entities that are attached to or related to those things or those people. So those things you can do. And of course, you can also check in, and I tend to do a lot of work with entities. So, I checked in to see the recent deaths and shootings that were on television, who crossed over, who did not, and some of them didn't even know they were dead. So, yes, I did cross over Alton Sterling. And that's not to say that's a big deal, but it's just, that's another thing that you can do. You can do. And as a healer, if you are a healer, you can go ahead and help out that way and send the angels. So remember, these things are there to distract you from what's really going on. And the second purpose is an opportunity for you to choose light or dark. And some people will choose dark, and you don't necessarily have to criticize or whatever them. Heal them too. They need healing as well. So there's definitely lots that you can do. So a couple other little things I wanted to tell you about. So I was traveling, and my brakes keep freezing up, and I've spent a lot of money on brakes this past year, and we just had it looked at the other day, and the mechanic said, we changed your back brakes. I don't know what else is going on. There's this weird, smell coming from the front brakes now, and we were on the highway, and this, sound was going on, and I thought, maybe I'll see whether this is a symbolic thing. So I went up, and asked the question. So let's see, is there something or someone trying to stop me? That's like putting on the brakes, right? Or maybe it's me. So I just checked in, and I got a yes for someone else or something else. It was something actually trying to stop me, hold me back from the work that I'm doing and the healing work. So I went and asked, is it and I got a picture of mine of a network. So I said, is it a network of entities? I got, yes. Yeah, they want to stop you. And this is just symbolic. They want to stop you. They want you to put on the brakes. So they're going to try to slow me down. And this might happen to you as well. So that's why I'm telling you this. So I checked in, and there was a network of demons with their minions, so to speak, underneath them. And there's when I counted them, the number kept going up and up and up till I reached about 14 million. So 14 million plus network of demons, and immediately got this feeling of I can heal this with love. So at that moment, I just had this heart swell of this love feeling. It was really amazing. Like I was being filled with source love, and I just shot it out, into this network. And it took, a few minutes, and then I saw that there were a stronghold of 7 left of demons, very, very high-end demons, powerful, so-called powerful demons, and then equally powerful, light angels surrounding them out there and shining their heart energy into them as well, and their armor dissolving. And then there was one left, and I can even draw what he looks like, with some armor and darkness, and from there it's like this groundswell of this light coming right through his body and then shattering, and him with light. And it was like, it looked like he was obliterated. Thank you, obliterated. But what it was that shell was completely shattered, and then now he was the free spirit that he was always. And what's really interesting is some of these minions, some of these monkey demons and lower realm, the dark angels, the fallen angels control and manipulate. Sometimes they have implants too. Last week we talked about releasing your own implants, past, present, and now future. They have some implants too. So I've had to do some rescue missions removing their implants before they could be healed. So check into this week just to see if you have any other residual implants and implant residuals, or hidden implants and implant residuals that you can release from your past, from the present, or from the future. It seems like this past week for me, it's been a lot of stuff in the future life, so we can heal past, present, and future lives all together. So check in that and clear that with the Tulpacan healing. Or if you have my Ascension Support audios, CDs, you can do that just by pointing it in that direction. And also some old infections may be, coming up. So you might be noticing some old symptoms like, cold sores or rashes, vaginitis maybe, or maybe, goopy eyes or snotty nose, cough that can be coming up. And it may not be something recent. You can always muscle test to see if it's something recent. But a lot of times it's some old stuff healing, including extraterrestrial type infections. And you could have multiple of those. Sometimes they were purposefully, you were infected. Other times it was accidental. It doesn't really matter. They can all heal now, and they're healing very, very rapidly. So you may get intense symptoms around that, even fevers and chills for some people. And again, you can just intend that detox process be much, much faster, and you can clear it energetically, and so that can clear out of your system faster. But that's, some of the pain and some weird symptoms happening this past week is due to that. So check in and see if that's true for you. And the last thing I want to mention is, the people around us sometimes can be really stressed and be not what we want them to be, right? So my mom has her 75th birthday, and she spent the last 3 days not eating, not sleeping, working on this slideshow presentation that I was supposed to help her with. And I did. Of course, my job was like last minute because she was doing it last minute, looking at 10,000 photos or whatever, trying to do the slideshow, just to make it right. And so, I thought to myself, am I supposed to heal her? We're soul destiny partners. And I do, I do healings on her. But at the same time, I keep getting the message she's supposed to heal me. And I'm like, I don't get it. How's she supposed to heal me? But I think I finally figured it out. And see if this resonates with you. Is that sometimes people are in our lives to mirror us, to mirror either where we were or where we want to be, or where we're at right now. But in this case, my mom is like a little ball of stress, and I know that she's really addicted to stress, and then she doesn't sleep and doesn't eat and doesn't get grounded, and then she attracts a whole bunch of monkey demons, and then infect her computer, and then she wonders why there's viruses there. She calls it monkey business because she forgets the word monkey demon. But anyway, it's really cute. So the thing is that can we love our stressed out friends and family members just the way they are and accept them? Can we hold our center and our ground amidst this whirlwind? And it was difficult. It was challenging, but I just kept feeling myself and going, wow, look at that. I can feel some pressure. I can feel some stress. It's like, 45 minutes before the party guests arrive, and I have not finished this video, which I am responsible for. But I'm like, angels, help me, And so even if you feel a stress, even if you notice yourself reacting, forgive yourself, and just come back to center again. Ground. Remember the energy clearing exercises. If you took my detoxify and rejuvenate your energy your energy body, cutting your cords, cleaning your aura, grounding, all these things help. And so sometimes the people around us, they're not supposed to change. They're supposed to be there for us that way. We've asked them to be like that before we were born, so we can cultivate our own skills. So instead of wanting them to change, realize that maybe they're there for you to change, and then just bless them for the wonderful contribution they are to your growth. So have a wonderful week. I love you all. Bye for now.